Hi there, how's it going? This is Ash from Fetch Profits. Every time you publish something on your WordPress blog, assuming you are publishing regularly on your WordPress blog, you wouldn't want to manually go into each social media profile and then post it manually. The best thing to do is to automate this particular process. So every time you publish a post on WordPress, it's automatically routed to your social media networks. This particular blog post is automatically scheduled and automatically posted without your intervention whatsoever. So you're looking at a sample blog post here, and this particular blog post comes with the title, a featured image, and the rest of the blog post. To accomplish this, you would have to use a tool called make.com. You can get yourself a copy of make at fetchprofits.com/make, and you get access to a pro trial, which means you get a pro account for an entire month so that you can follow along. And this is how that particular sequence looks like inside make. You're going to create a new scenario and you're going to add what is called as modules, which is what makes calls it, and each module executes a certain action based on a trigger, and that particular module will output a set of data. That particular piece of data is sent to the next module for processing, and each of those modules will process in sequence, sending the final output to wherever you wanted that output to go to, depending on the automation sequence that you wanted to build. So just one of the many different automation scenarios that you can create for various functions of your business. But for the purposes of this video, we will stick to WordPress and what is published on WordPress and how it's being sent to your social media networks without your intervention. On the screen here, you're looking at all of these modules that have been set up, and I'll create this step by step so that you understand. To make this work, you will need to be able to connect to each of these particular platforms that you will use. So you will need access to your WordPress credentials. You also need access to your social media profiles for LinkedIn, for Facebook, for Instagram, for X, and so on and so forth. And you will also need to use certain built-in tools that Make provides for you, such as HTTP module here, the one in blue, and the one in green that's also called as a router. Plus, you would also need what is called as a self-hosted WordPress version, which is what you will get with WordPress.org. So if you're essentially hosting a WordPress website with GoDaddy, Namecheap, or any other hosting platform of that sort, you are in effect using self-hosted WordPress. If you like this video, please do like and share it. If you are new here, please do subscribe to the channel. So you are looking at a few modules here, and we will create this step by step. But before you do this, make sure you get into your WordPress dashboard, go to plugins, click on add new plugin, and add a plugin that's called Make Connector, and look for that particular plugin. And this is how it looks like with Make's logo. You need to install and activate this. On the left side panel, you will see Make here showing up. This particular link here will also give you access to API key that you will need to establish connection with your Make scenario. Another thing that you will need is also called as WordPress REST API URL, which you will find by going to yoursite.com. Please replace your site with your domain name .com/wp-json/wp/v2/. If you actually paste it on a browser, this is what you will get. Having done that, let's get back to building a scenario. I'm creating a new scenario here, and this is where you will create your new scenario. You can give your connection a name. Then this is where you will paste that particular URL that you found for your website that is particular to you, and then you will input the API key, which you will find here in your WordPress dashboard. When you go to Make, if you click on Make, you will be able to find it. I'm not clicking on it, but you will be able to find it easily. If you ever get stuck with any part of the module creation, you'll always find online help on that little purple link there. If you click on it, you will always find help to exactly how to do these things step by step. It's not rocket science. So after you give your connection, you need to pick post as the type, and then you need to click the status as published. Remember that we will want for this module to look out for all of the posts that are published recently, and you want that trigger to work every time a particular blog post is published. Click on publish the limit. So I'm going to leave it at, and I'm going to click OK. And now it'll ask me where to start. I say choose manually. This is especially a good practice if you're just trying out your new scenarios. Pick something manually here and then click on OK. This is your first module. This module helps you watch for posts that are published. Please notice that every blog post that I publish will also have a featured image here. And the way this works is that this featured image is obviously on your WordPress, but you will need extract it separately so that some of these social media platforms, you'll need that image file to be posted For example, on LinkedIn. For this particular scenario, because there is LinkedIn inside the scenario, I would want to ensure that I have a way to extract that image from that post, get that file ready, and also then post it on LinkedIn, for example. The other social media profiles seem to work, but LinkedIn seems to require that particular file that needs to be extracted, and that for that reason we're going to add another module here. Press get a media item. So I'm going to type in WordPress. I'm going to look for show more, and I'm going to search for media item. I can even type it here to make it faster. Get a media item and click on this. And now with the same connection that you established before, you're going to get something called as media item ID. Now where will you find this media item ID is in the previous module that has already executed this particular scenario. If it hasn't, then all you need to do is right click on this particular module and click on run this module only. That will also help you save the number of operations that you will use. So all of the output that comes from that module is shown here. I'm going to click out of this, but you know that there is also a media ID that is out. So I'm going to go look for media items and type media ID. So this is the featured media ID, which is an ID that WordPress will give for every featured media that you will add for your blog post. So this is what you need to extract out of the blog post that you published, the one that the previous module extracted. So you want to select featured media ID here, click on it, and that particular thing will show up in this particular module. Basically what this second module is doing is extracting that particular media item, which is also called as featured media ID, and getting it from the first module, which has extracted all of the data that regards to your blog post that you have published before. The next one we're going to do now is add an HTTP element here, and we're going to click on get a file. And here is where you will need to go to that particular URL that was extracted by the previous module that we just added. The first module that you're looking at on the screen is the one that actually got the media item, and in that media item it is the media item ID that you would want access to, which is a file in fact which lives on a URL. Click on OK, and this particular HTTP file is now supposed to be extracting the image from the URL that the second module extracted, and where the second module got that source is from the first module that actually extracted all of the data that actually relates to your blog post that you just published. And from here, all you want to do is now add a router. We are adding a router because we want this particular execution to branch out into different places. And in this regard, the places are the social media platforms that you want to connect to. As usual, Make will ask you to connect with every single thing that you will want to add here. So I'm going to add LinkedIn page. Click LinkedIn. Get here and look for create a post. Create an organization image post. Click on that. Connect your LinkedIn brand page, which is separate from your LinkedIn personal profile. And then it'll ask you for an organization that you want to post this particular post on. So you would want to pick Fetch Profits. Find this particular thing that says file and get a file. So this is automatically done for you. So what this particular module is doing for LinkedIn is that it is getting this particular file from this particular module that says HTTP, which extracted a file from this particular URL that this WordPress module extracted, which got all of the elements of data from the first module ever on this scenario. And now you get a file. For title, you would want to go back to the watch post part and click on the title that you have available for that particular blog post. Alt text is also available if you want to search for it, and click on alt text and you get access to alternative text here. Click on it so it shows up in that little box. Content should be something like description. Type something like description, for example. Choose description here. Content will be populated automatically. Leave the rest as default and click on OK. Now what LinkedIn is going to do, and specific to LinkedIn, is the fact that you're creating an image here and that image will be posted here. Similarly, follow through and add your other social media profiles as well. For example, you can go to X and click on create a post. As usual, it will ask you to connect with X, then add your text content, which happens to be the title of this particular blog post. So go to title here. Please do be careful to pick the right title. You don't want to pick the right title from the get a media item. You want to pick the right title from the first WordPress module that you added, which is watching the blog post. So click on title here until it shows up in the little box and click on OK. There's also a link to ensure that you connect properly with X, because it requires a little more workaround to connect. It does not connect directly and easily. So I will leave that link in the description below. It's just that you got to go through a few more hoops to ensure that you're connecting right with X, earlier Twitter. So click on connect. After you're done with this, click on router again and choose Instagram for business, for example, if that's what you want to do, or click on Facebook and this is where I want to create a post. But remember that this is Facebook pages. It's not going to go to your Facebook personal profile. It's going to go to your Facebook brand page or business page as it's called. Connect with your Facebook as usual with the wizard. On page, select the right page that you want this to go on. For message, you want to go for either the title or the description. I'm just going to go ahead with the title again, and be sure to pick the title output from the watch post module of your WordPress. That was the first module in question here. Ensure that the title shows up here, and for the link, just look for URL, and that link is here, the main link that's supposed to belong to your blog post, and then you click on OK. So you just have to be a little careful as to what kind of data you're picking when you're populating the boxes here inside the modules. So this is how you build out your scenario. If you run the scenario, it should be able to work, and just click on run once. There is no autosave function for make, so please be sure that you save all of the changes that you make. Also save the scenario once you're done with it, then click on run once, and it's supposed to show up. You will eventually run into problems such as Twitter not connecting and so on and so forth. You do have to keep looking out for errors and make things can break, connections can break, API will break. So I'm going to run the scenario now once, and it will go to LinkedIn and Facebook. For your reference, this is the post that we're trying to automate. Do remember the featured image and the title of the post. Trying to run that scenario with just 2 social media outputs and not 3. Just run it. On LinkedIn brand page, you should be able to see that post show up here. X won't work because I unlinked it. It also works on Facebook. Even on Facebook, you will see that particular post showing which says just now, and it shows with the featured image, shows with the title, and shows with the link. You can automate your WordPress blog posts and sharing it on social. You can take your time and hands off of it and make automation work for you. If you have any questions, if you have any issues, please do feel free to reach out to me. This is how your basic automation from WordPress to social media looks like. If you like the video, please do like and share. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel. This is Ash from Fetch Profits signing out.